नमस्कार दोस्तों, गुड इवनिंग। हमेशा की तरह आपके साथ मीडिया और उससे जुड़े हुए कुछ विषय पर बातचीत करने के लिए ये मंच मैं इस्तेमाल कर रहा हूँ। आप भी अगर कोई प्रश्न हो तो उसे चैट बॉक्स में डाल सकते हैं, जिसका जवाब आपको मिलेगा। Today I'm going to discuss about mediatization. See, media industry and its rapid development has transformed media landscape not only in India but abroad as well. So the concept of mediatization is a process of social change associated with communication media. And mediatization has four basic elements. According to Winfred Schultz, the basic element or the basic elements of mediatizations are extension, substitution, amalgamation, and accommodation. What is extension? The basic, one of the four basic elements. This particular element is very important as far as mediatization is to be, explained. Extension of our communication behavior. Earlier, we used to have face-to-face communication, which restricted our reach. Now we can communicate from different geographical locations. So the concept of mass communication, when it started, in the beginning we had newspaper, but if you look at the newspaper, it is one-way communication, though it was a mass communication situation. But in newspaper, the gatekeeper decided news, and the audience of the readers were going through the perception or selection of the gatekeeper. Similarly, in television also, what we get is the view or the selection of the gatekeeper. And if you look at the process, receiving process of the audience, how you basically receive as an audience, how you basically receive the communication from television or newspaper or any other mass media. It was basically one linear communication, and feedback was either very slow or delayed, and feedback in the form of letter to editor. These days, because of the technology, we can give our feedback if there is a, because in news broadcast or in any other program, generally we don't have the system of feedback. But if there is a system of feedback, say through telephone lines, through email or any other medium, if you are giving your feedback, that feedback also is restricted, rather selected by the gatekeeper. As an audience, you have limited access to the content as well as limited access to what you basically send to the media organization. So it had hardly any effect on the behavior and functioning of media organization. Now, this situation has completely changed. We can send and receive information instantly from anywhere across the globe. And if media is not giving the mainstream media, now many people call it traditional media also, radio, television, print. The mainstream media hardly gives space to the audience, live audiences. But the mediatization, this process where technology is basically involved, it extended our time and space. So human time and space is extended because of the mass communication media. Important development, the concept of substitution. Media has substituted face-to-face social interaction completely. So the social business, social, political, business meetings are replaced with immediate communication, making things available at our doorsteps. So the face-to-face communication is replaced by mediatization, the mediated by the mediated communication, mediated by the mediated communication. Last 2 years we are facing pandemic. I also witnessed that because of the pandemic, and online communication replaced almost everywhere. Online communication replaced face-to-face communication situation. And Google Meet or Zoom or team meeting, there are many softwares. I've just mentioned a few. There are many softwares which basically helping people to reach and eliminate the geographical boundaries. Human communication not only extended, but it substituted also face-to-face communication situation. The amalgamation process, meeting of mediated, either it was face-to-face communication situation or a communication with the masses. You must have seen that mode location, physical location, but their 3D images are available at several places. So it is a situation where face-to-face communication is merging with mass media communication situation. It's very important, and we all should try to understand the impact of amalgamation of face-to-face and mass media, face-to-face and mediated communication. Let me give you one very example. Let me give you one example. Recently held UP election. At the ground level, people were telling that there is a, what we call it, very impressive forecast for Samajwadi Party. And people were talking about that the party, Samajwadi Party, will replace BJP. And the basis of their predictions were the crowd at the different, rallies. But the communication experts and rather politicians, political experts missed a very important part of it. The rallies by Akhilesh Yadav were mainly face-to-face communication. But the rally by BJP leaders were not only face-to-face communication, they used mediated communication also. So they mixed it, amalgamation. They mixed mediated as well as face-to-face communication. So what was visible was face-to-face communication. That yes, in Modi ji rally you see population, a crowd of 2 lakh people. But what we were not able to see, 10 lakh, 20 lakh crowd, basically watching it live through other mediums, through meditation, through mediation, through mediated communication. So the impact was not clearly analyzed by the political analyst. As a communication expert, I'm really thrilled to see that something is really coming up quite well, and we have scope for research. And if you analyze the result of UP, you'll find that mediatization has played a very important role in the victory of Bharatiya Janata Party. So extension, substitution, and amalgamation, mixing of two communication types, where traditional as well as modern means of communication converged at one point. One we could see, another we missed it. So the result mainly were not clearly predicted by the political analyst. The fourth and last important element of mediatization is accommodation. Winfried Schulz talked about these four, elements of mediatization. And what is accommodation? Accommodation is basically accommodating media for effective communication. Now we are dependent on many media tools to effectively reach out to our audiences. Look at the situation here. We are dependent upon media. This lecture, which I am taking live, that too with the help of YouTube, and it has potential of reaching out to hundreds and thousands of people, not instantly, but over a period of time. So the communication, impact of communication, face-to-face communication was limited. But when we mixed face-to-face communication situation with mediatization or mediation, the impact is more. And as a communication expert, UP election is the right example, a right area of research for communication. Another communicologist, Frederick Croths, he also spoke about mediatization. Croths basically focused on mediatization as an ongoing process. For him, mediatization is an ongoing process. Social change takes place continuously, and media and society both, they not only accept each other, but their interdependency plays very important role. Here, one thing that we must note down, that the media is man-made, and it is people who choose media. And the mediatization changes our behavior, communication behavior, particularly communication behavior, by offering new possibilities of communication. And they change the way they were communicating earlier. They construct their own world. And the world is sometimes real, and sometimes some, fake information, misinformation construct the reality. So the use of technology, in a way, helping us to reach out to those who are earlier not accessible, but again creating a problem as well, that while reaching out to those who are not accessible earlier, we are bombarding with a lot of information. And those who are at receiving end, they're not able to understand which one to pick, which one to drop. Another communicologist, Stig Howard, he also defined mediatization. And for Stig Howard, mediatization is a double-sided process. Stig basically spoke about the independent social institution. Media become integrated into another social institution, and media not only affects other social institutions like education, police, politics, it is also affected by the organizations. Society, when we accept media, as a society, when we accept media, it not only changes our communication behavior, but it also changes the social institutions. Look at educational institutions, how they are communicating now and how they were communicating earlier. It has completely changed. The media landscape in India has not only mixed the face-to-face communication and mediated communication, but it created impact, which is a very good area for research. Now, I've given you the example of UP election, where people were not able to see the impact of mediatization. And I hope that when we will research this, we'll definitely find some wonderful new text to share with the communication researchers. Thank you very much. Hope to see you again with another media and communication related topic. Thanks.